Hello everyone. I finally finished this sock, so I am ready to start my tutorial on how I make my stripey monster socks. This is the one I'm doing today. I'm calling it my autumn squash socks. We are going to start with the cast on and the rib. I will show how I do it on double points and how I divide my stitches up. And then we will increase for the leg. I will show the striping sequence for the leg, and then the heel. I used a German short row heel on these socks. Any heel will work. I like short row heels just because they're easy for me to do. I have no idea what's going on with the lighting in this thing. That's interesting. There we go. My lighting, it keeps going down and
Turning the HDR off, or turning the flash on.
Whoa, hey, yo. That's a lot of light. There will be some editing, people. Alright, any heel that you like will work. I use a short row heel most of the time just because it won't interrupt the line of the foot, but you can even use a heel flap and gusset on these with no problem. And then the striping sequence continues down the foot, and then I do my toe. I believe this is called a wedge toe. It is the toe that I almost always use on all of my socks. So today we are going to start with the cast on. Now I use a cast on that is called the single yarn double knot cast on, and there will be a better tutorial for that. There's one by Of Troy on YouTube. I will link it down in the description, but I will also go through it today. So, grab my needles. Now, for the cast on and the cuff, you will choose any one of your colors will work. I like to use the one that I use for the thin stripes because that's the one that I'm going to use the least in the sock, and it gives it a nice pop of color, I think. So in this case, this kind of light beigey color. These are all Knit Picks palette. I do not know the color names of any of them. Okay, we're going to do the cast on. We are going to start with a slip knot. I'm using Knit Pro Nova Platina Cubics for this. Okay, after you've done your slip knot, you yarn over the needle, and you pull the slip knot over it. This makes this stitch look like the other stitches in your cast on. That's why we do that. Now you're going to take the long tail of your yarn, the one that's connected to your ball. Now hold it in these three fingers against your palm. You make this shape over, both, and then under. This is a setup for your cast on. Go under this one, over this, pull it up, and you get this nice little V shape. Turn your hand, and go through. And you have a loop on your needle. Let's do that again. Under the back strand, over the front strand. Should look like that. Turn your hand, grab the yarn, and pull through. That's 3. Now, most cast-ons, you have to be careful how closely you space them on the needle. You have to use a bigger needle. You don't have to with this one. Just use the same needle you're using. It doesn't matter how closely you space them. It will be stretchy. Like I said, there will be a better video of this and link in the description. And cast on how many ever you need for a plain vanilla sock. In my case, I am casting on 64 stitches. And I will see you when you are done casting on. Okay, so I've cast on 64 stitches for the cuff of my sock. And this is how I always start my socks when I'm doing cuff down. I start with this cast on. Alright, I'm going to divide it up on the double points, but I'm only going to divide it onto 3 to start with. To do that, I'll put 16 on the first, 16 on the second, and I'll leave 32 on this one. To transfer them, I just put it in pairwise and slip it off. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15, 16. Okay, there's the first one. I position the stitches somewhere around the middle so that they won't fall off. Grab my next one, and 16 on this one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Same thing. And that leaves 32 on this one. Now, the reason I do that is anytime you're joining in the round, it can be, well, for lack of a better term, fiddly. You've got all these stitches running around. It can feel like you're wrestling an octopus. Doing it this way just kind of stabilizes it a little. So I'm ready to join in the round now. And when I join in the round, I'm going to knit with both the tail of the yarn and the working yarn. This not only allows me to close this gap a little neater, it also weaves in that end, so I don't have to do anything at the end except cut it off. So I'm going to do knit 2, purl 2, rib. So I knit the first stitch, and then again to help close that gap, I'm going to grab the working yarn and I'm going to give a good hard yank. Give a good hard yank. And then I'm going to continue knitting with both yarns, the second stitch, and then I'm going to purl 2, knit 2. This cast on can be a little tough to knit into on the first round if you pull it too tight like I did. Just loosen your stitches, the tip of your needle if you have to. Alright, now that I've done 8 stitches, I'm going to grab this tail and just let it hang there. And it will hang there until I'm done with the sock, and then I'll just cut it off. It's woven in, it's ready to go. And for the rest of this cuff, you just continue with your ribbing, however you like it. You can really use any ribbing you want. And yeah, that's pretty much all of us know how to rib. If you don't, let me know. I'd be glad to show you. Alright. When you get to the last needle, you will add in your 5th double point. So I will get to that point. Cat hair. Okay, I'm on the needle that has 32 stitches on it. I'm going to work the first 16 stitches in rib just as I have been. Four, five, six, seven, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And just scoop the needle down, grab your next double point, and work the next 16. And you will be done with the round. Now I do anywhere between 14 and 20 rounds of rib, depending on who the sock is for. Your favorite number of ribs should work. My husband likes more rib. I don't really care if it has more rib or not. So I tend to do a little less for me. That's it for this video. I will be back sometime after I finish the rib. And we will talk about the striping sequence and setting up for it. Alright, talk to y'all later.